What's going on, guys? Phil here with Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube. Gonna keep saying that because I feel like it. Make sure if you're new to the channel, you hit the subscribe button, because at 200,000, I think we're gonna do something crazy. Maybe I'll like do a burnout in my car and burn off an entire set of brand new tires or something like that. So hit the subscribe button. If you already have subscribed, thank you very much. We appreciate every single one of you. So today we're doing another episode of From the Inbox, where I'm gonna be talking about the differences between your one-piece wheels and your two-piece wheels. What are the advantages, disadvantages, and everything that goes into multi-piece truck wheels. So when it comes to multi-piece truck wheels, there's actually not a ton of companies out there right now that are making multi-piece truck wheels, and I think that's just because they're not as popular. And probably the biggest reason why is because of the cost. So if you look at who does make them, some of the names that you might recognize are like XD, American Force, Motometal, and Fuel as some of the bigger names in the multi-piece wheel game for the truck market. Now, in the car world, there's a ton of multi-piece wheel manufacturers, and there's like way more that goes into car multi-piece wheels than there is in trucks. So it's kind of good because these are a little more simple, a little more easy to understand. Now, when you go to break down the prices between a regular one-piece cast and a two-piece wheel, you'll notice that there's usually a couple $100, if not like $1,000 difference between those. So your one-piece cast wheel is a simple one-piece cast wheel that we've showed you a million times, where it's just poured into a mold. That's why it's called a cast. And then your wheel comes out, it's deburred, cleaned up, painted, and sent off, and that's your one-piece wheel. A two-piece wheel is made basically the same way, but they have your outer barrel and then your inner face as the second piece, hence the name two-piece wheels. So the outer barrel is disconnected from that center face, so you can separate those. Now, why would you want to do that? A lot of times people are buying the multi-piece truck wheels for the advantages of being able to have multiple finishes. So you can't have a wheel that is a true chrome center with a black barrel unless it's multi-piece, because you can't put two finishes on one wheel, especially if it's in a chrome, because that process is way different than painting or powder coating. So that's where a two-piece wheel has an advantage over a one-piece wheel. Now, you will see that there are some one-piece cast wheels on the market that have two colors as part of their finish, but it's oftentimes two paint colors, and then you have a tape line, so you can visibly see that, and it's just not as clean because it's not always perfect, and there can be some little jagged edges on there. And the factories overseas in China don't have that much attention to detail, so that's why you get those jagged edges and it's not a perfect line. And there's many factories that just refuse to do it. Another advantage of the multi-piece wheels is they're just plain cool. They're really awesome, and that's how these SEMA trucks get all these crazy finishes with like a lime green barrel and then they got a purple face or something like that, because you have the option to easily take them apart, paint or powder coat them, or get them anodized or do a chrome finish or whatever you want on them without, you know, having to do that tape line. So everything just looks way cleaner when you have a multi-piece wheel. In the car world, there's lots of advantages to multi-piece wheels, more so than in the truck world, and that's because there's so many manufacturers and so many different styles of multi-piece wheels that if you wanted to change the way your wheel looks every season, you really could, because you already have the barrels. And like if you have a three-piece wheel where you have the back half, the front half, and then the face that gets bolted between, if you want to change the width or the offset, you can do that just by getting different barrels or the different face if you want a different style. So you can always change up your fitment or how it looks, and there's just a ton of options when it comes to multi-piece wheels in the car world. Now in the truck world, it's almost a disadvantage because there isn't anybody out there that'll sell you just part of their wheel. You basically have to buy the whole thing, and there's not multiple faces usually for those wheels, it's just one style. The other big disadvantages of a multi-piece wheel in the truck world is, number one, the added weight. So they're really, really heavy because you're adding all that hardware in there, which adds weight, and usually just the way the wheels are constructed, they're a lot heavier than a typical cast wheel because it takes that much more metal to make these. So probably the biggest disadvantage of these multi-piece wheels is the cost, and I kind of touched on it before, but to give you kind of some perspective, if you want a multi-piece American Force wheel, granted it's fully forged, so that alone drives up the cost, but a multi-piece American Force is at the bare minimum like $10,000, and most of their finishes in the multi-piece world are like 12 grand. So it's $12,000 for a set of four wheels, and when you're adding that to your already $70,000, $80,000 truck that you just bought brand new off the lot, that's a huge chunk of change. Plus, in the sizes they offer, you're gonna need a lift kit and giant tires too to make that all work together. So American Force is kind of an extreme example, and there's also your entry-level multi-piece wheels, and Moto Metal is a great example of that. So many people know Moto Metal as being one of the most popular names in the truck world simply because they make really clean, really simple styles at an affordable price point, and that kind of carries over into their multi-piece world too. So everybody knows the Moto Metal 962. You've seen it in 1,000 of our videos, and you see it all over the internet. What you might not have seen, or maybe you have but you didn't know, is the Moto Metal M0200. The M0200, or MO200, however you want to say it, is basically the exact same thing as the Moto Metal 962. However, it's two-piece. So the one that we have here in the showroom is a gloss black barrel with a chrome center. And again, that's one of those things that you just can't do on a regular one-piece wheel. So the two-piece variant is about $1,700, give or take. It depends on what finishes you want and what sizes you get. I used like bigger sizes for these examples, I think 22 by 12 or 20 by 12. And in the cast version of that wheel, you're looking at about $1,100. So roughly a $600 difference, or $150 per wheel, just to upgrade to the two-piece. And whether you call it an upgrade or not is up to you. If you like the style and you like the finishes, that's great, but there's not really any other big advantages to having the two-piece wheel. Another huge name in the wheel industry is Fuel. Again, you've seen these in a ton of our videos too because it's a really hot name that's out there right now. And they make two-piece wheels in some huge sizes. So a 24 by 14 in a cast Fuel Maverick is about $2,400. The two-piece version of the Fuel Maverick is about $2,800. So again, you're seeing that roughly $100 jump per wheel to have the two-piece variant. Now, you will also sometimes notice when you're looking at two-piece wheels versus one-piece wheels that the styles are a little different, and that's often just because of the engineering that goes into making that center face be able to bolt on to that barrel. So if there's some style changes, or you notice one has like a floating lip where the spoke doesn't go all the way out to the edge of the barrel, that's probably a two-piece wheel. And if it goes all the way and connects and it looks like every other wheel you've ever seen before, that's usually your one-piece. If you scroll down on the website in all the wheel details where we list every single spec on it, you'll see wheel structure, I believe we call it, and it'll say if it's one-piece alloy or two-piece, so that you know if you're buying a multi-piece wheel or not. One of my favorite two-piece wheels that's on the market right now is actually from XD, and it's the XD Chopstick. So if you search on the website for the XD Chopstick, you'll see one that's the XD 831 and one that is the XD 2 something or another. That 2 dictates that it's a two-piece. So if you go and you try to find the chopsticks and you're seeing some for like $1,800, you're not sure why they're so expensive, that's because those are the two-piece wheels, but they offer some really awesome finishes. My favorite is the black and gray. Now, if you just want to get the cast version of the XD Chopstick, they're significantly cheaper. And right now, when the video goes up, there's actually a couple different sizes that are on blowout right now, and you can get them for like anywhere from $700 to $900 per set. But just keep in mind that the typical price for that is about $1,100 compared to the two-piece, which is right around the $1,800 to $1,900, again, depending on sizes and finishes. So again, I use the big sizes to compare because that's what seems like everybody is running these days. So two-piece versus one-piece, what's our opinion? You guys always want to know what we think. And if it was me personally, I love the way a two-piece wheel looks. And in the car world, I think it's something that people really should go after just because it's awesome to be able to change your width and the offset and the styles. But in the truck world, I don't know if it's worth saving up all that extra money to spend on a two-piece wheel that looks almost exactly the same as a one-piece wheel. If you guys have any questions on multi-piece wheels, wheels in general, tires, suspension, lift kits, drop them in the comments below and we will probably make you a video on it because Cobb reads every single comment every day so that he can tell me what videos we're making the next day. Peace.